Hi, folks. I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to my political cartoon countdown and Ukraine update for April 14th, 2022. We made it back. Here we are, folks. Good to see you all. And before we get started on the first, we're going to do the update. But before that, I just want to make a little comment here. You know, I just heard some good news tonight that the Ukrainians are going to be getting some more lots of weapons, sophisticated stuff, and all that business, which is really great. But you know, I start thinking a little bit, and I say to myself, who's going to teach them how to use all this American stuff? Because this is stuff they've never seen before. You know, who's going to, if we're not going to send them advisors over there to show them how to do this stuff, and we're still worried about President Putin, what he's going to say about this. What are these guys going to do? You know, I mean, they're going to be looking. Here come the Russian planes. Here come all these bombs and everything. And here we got to go through our instruction book here. You know, let's see now. We got to put this gasket in here, and then we got to go to A, B, and then we've got to push this button here, and then we got to do that, and then we got to, let's see now. Oh, man, whew, that was a close one. You know, how the heck are they going to be doing this stuff? I don't see how. They have the Russians are on their doorsteps. They're coming right through Russia right now, and they're going to be over there in the Donbass region very soon. And so I don't know how many instruction books they're sending them, but I don't think they have enough time to read those instruction books, and I think they're going to need some coaching on how to use that equipment. And I think it would be a good idea, President Biden, if you'd send them some advisors, a little tutorial help on how to handle these weapons, because I don't understand how they're going to work with American weapons, never seeing them before, and they're used for this Russian stuff. Everybody keeps saying they're used to the MiGs and all the Russian stuff, the S-300s that were from the Soviet Union and all that stuff that they're used to shooting. But this is not S-300s we're sending them. We're sending them American stuff, stuff, McDonnell Douglas, whatever, they don't know from that kind of stuff. And I just hope that you think about it and send them some good advisors and instruction people to show them how to work the equipment so they can get the job done and do what they have to do. And like I say, if they're going to be if their bombs are coming and they're going to be looking at the books and seeing, oh, let's see here, we got to go A to B and C to C, I mean, forget about it. They got no time for instruction booklets on how to work these equipment. Okay. With that said, I want to get to the update on Ukraine, and it's very unfortunately we're seeing here this reminds me of the way it's going to the open terrain and everything. It's going to be like the Battle of Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, when Robert E. Lee met the Union troops. And hopefully it'll go that Robert E. Lee won't be victorious. Robert E. Lee being here the Russians. They're the invaders, and just like it was the Southern Army that went up to the north, and that was their last invasion of the North during the Civil War, when Robert E. Lee led his troops up into the Union North, and he was defeated at Gettysburg. That was the end of it. They never came back no more. They went headed back south. So we want the Russians to go back up north. So anyway, that's my analogy here of what's very simply put of what we're leading up to. Another battle at Gettysburg, a Civil War battle, kind of like only with advanced equipment. There won't be horses and there won't be stuff like muskets and stuff like that in those days, but on a higher level, on a 21st century level, you have your drones and all this business and that, and all the tanks and all this stuff, but it's gonna be a slug out, just like that was a slug out. So anyway, so here's what I want to show you here. Now, here come the Russians now. They're coming through, let's see here. They're coming through Belgrade. Okay, here they come. They're coming right through here from Russia, heading past Belgrade, which is what the Ukrainians attacked a fuel depot there about a week or two ago with some helicopters. I don't know. They didn't say that they did it, or they didn't say they didn't did it. Okay, we don't know for sure, but it don't look like the Russians would have attacked their own depot, or somebody sabotaged it. So we can't say that for sure, but it could have been. Okay, let's say it could have been. Okay, because the Ukrainians didn't say, they came out and say that we did it. They say we can't confirm or deny it. So let's leave it like that. So anyway, so that was over here. So anyway, it seems like what's happening now is that they're going to come through here, and now Chernihiv has been taking a lot of stuff here. A lot of bombardment has been going on, okay? And what's going to happen here is they're going to try to come through here. Kharkiv, okay? They moved already. These troops have moved out. It's hard for me to see this business when I'm looking here and looking there. Okay, this is the troops that have moved out from Kiev. Those troops are gone. They've had it for a while. They're going for vacation. Maybe Putin's taking them to his dacha somewhere for rest and relaxation, R&R. These troops here are leaving Kiev. They've had it from the Ukrainians. So they're heading up back north through Belarus and Russia. They're gone. So they're sending in new troops here from Belgrade going to Kharkiv. They've been bombarding the hell out of Kharkiv. That's what I'm talking about here. And Kharkiv is the second largest city in Ukraine, and it used to be the capital before Kiev was the capital. Before Kyiv was the capital, Kharkiv was the capital, and that's why it's the second largest city in Ukraine, and they had a lot of cultural stuff there, and it's very symbolic. And that was part of this when the Soviet Union, when it first became the Soviet Union, Kharkiv was then Kharkiv, however you pronounce it. Kharkiv, some people pronounce it with a silent K, and they say Kharkiv. So let's do it that way. Kharkiv was the Soviet Union's first capital when they had Ukraine. That was the first capital. So I figure they might really want that city bad, and they've been bombing the hell out of it. You know, all kinds of those bombs that all over the place. So they've been doing that. And so now the next thing is over here in Kramatorsk, they bombed the railroad station there the other day. Okay, people were leaving that city, and they bombed the railroad station there. Now Kramatorsk is like a grand central station in a way, because it's a big, it's not a big city, but there are a lot of homes, a lot of residential area around there, and it stretches out a lot of roads. So they're going to want to take Kramatorsk. That's going to be a big battle there. From what I've heard and from my opinion, what I read, I think they're going to want to take after Kharkiv. They're going to want Kramatorsk, and then they're going to head out to Donetsk. You see, and that's like the Grand Central Station. It's the hub here. You see, okay. They're going to want the Donetsk. They already have, that's part of it. Dnipro, I mean. Dnipro is the airport. They bombed the Dnipro airport about a week ago. They're going to head out to Dnipro. And that's like the Grand Central Station, Dnipro, because that's right here. And they're going to want to bring up their troops from the south and meet with the north, and then create this whole area here. They want to create that whole area, like the north meets the south, you know, and just lock it up. Lock up that Donbass region. And that's what they want to do. You see? And then they got their ships out in the Black Sea that are striking at Odessa, and they're going to the Ukrainians. That again, this is not confirmed, but one of the biggest Russian ship, like the Bismarck, you know, the version of the Bismarck, the Russian version of the Bismarck that was hit today or yesterday. by one of their Ukrainians' missiles. So you got to give those Ukrainians credit. They're going after the Russians' Bismarck, the biggest ship going, and they launched. If they did do that and they launched an attack on that ship, they have a lot of balls, those Ukrainians, to do that. So there you go there. So anyway. So that's what's happening here. They're going to try. They want to get Odessa, that port city, and then they lock it up, and then probably once they and then not to mention now Mariupol, they're not going to. They're probably not going to go down here yet until they get to Mariupol. Probably they'll turn here, and they'll want to take Mariupol because that's a city that's been like a real son of a bitch to them, because those people at Mariupol were the ones who really put up a fight the last time when they took when they went into and they took Crimea and they won, and with Donetsk and the other one, Luhansk and Donetsk, those two provinces that they declared republics, and Mariupol wanted no part of that, and they rebelled, so that they really have it in from Mariupol, and they've already destroyed the city. But the people of Mariupol, they're still fighting elements there, and they can't say they have the whole city. The Russians can't say they have the whole city yet. They probably have sections of it, but they don't have it all under control. So it's very fluid there, what's going on in Mariupol. Now probably, they'll get Mariupol when all that stuff's coming in and all that business. They say now that they might have used some traces of chemical weapons that were used with there. They're saying that they don't know for sure. They don't know, but they're investigating that right now on Mariupol, because they really want that Mariupol. So they're not going to lock up this area until they get Mariupol. That's big on their list, you see. So the thing the way I see it here, Kramatorsk, they're going to definitely want that, and that's going to be a big battle in Kramatorsk. They bombed that railroad station, and they Dnipro, and on to Mariupol, and then they hook up here with the people coming up from the north, and they seal this whole area. Once they seal this whole area, then they've been hitting. They've been still bombing out in the west, sending their missiles out here, sending long-range missiles here. From Belarus, their planes have been hitting Lviv. So they're probably going to then move out, kind of just move out this way, and have the forces here, and probably do the same thing in the west, just to the north and the south, and meet something like that. They're probably going to do that. So the thing is now, they need those weapons, and I'm going to say it again, that I would give this man Zelensky, everything he needs. If he asked for pink elephants in polka dot bikinis, I would send him pink elephants in polka dot bikinis. I wouldn't question the man, because he's there at the front. He's there. And I would send him what he needs. If he says he needs MiGs, I would send him MiGs. Because you have to. This is that we can't. If this falls, then it'll fall, because now we're sending this stuff. We were fearful of a nuclear war. This same modus operandi can be applied to the Baltic states. It could be applied anywhere. The Chinese could apply this, with their situation. This is something that has to be addressed. You can't have people saying we have nuclear weapons and we're going to go and it gives us a license to invade other countries because we have nuclear weapons, and nobody wants a nuclear war, so we can do what we want. If you have that, then you might as well just forget about the United Nations. You might as well forget about NATO, because it's nothing really. It's nothing. If you're going to let nations, just because they have nuclear weapons, and license them to go into other nations because they have nuclear weapons, what's the point of it? So NATO is on trial. The United Nations is on trial. The whole apparatus of what was established after World War II is on trial here. and Ukraine cannot lose. It cannot happen. So that's it. That's the update here. So, okay. So let's see. We've covered here. You see, and I'll just give you now. Now you take something like here, Hungary. The leader of Hungary is a close friend of, is kind of close with Putin here, and here the in Bulgaria you've got a good leader there, but then you got a strong socialist party in Bulgaria that's very close to Putin there. You see, so you got a lot of, it's because they're NATO. A lot of these NATO countries are like they're walking a tightrope, you know. So if this fails, I mean, they're going to say to themselves, well, we got to go move closer to Putin because what the hell? Look what happened here. So it's on the line. The entire ball of wax is on the line. It cannot. Failure, defeat is not an option. You know, that's all I'm saying here. And again, I'll say it. If Zelensky called me on the phone and he said, Mr. President, I'm not president, but I'm just saying, Mr. President, we need pink elephants in polka dot bikinis. I say, they'll be there tomorrow. I'll have your pink elephants in polka dot bikinis tomorrow. They'll be right there, right at the doorstep in Kyiv. They'll be there, you know? So that's it. Okay, let's get to the cartoon countdown here. Starting off, we got here, let's see what we got here, folks. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 cartoons. We got the top 5 cartoons. Here we go with numero 5 here. Okay, now here we recognize her. This is Ginny Thomas, who is married to Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Dream call to former President Donald Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. She was calling Mark Meadows to change the election right after the election before January 6th. She was on the phone, working the phones to Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff for President Trump then. That just following her many texts to Meadows with a series of false and conspiratorial claims in support of invalidating Biden's victory in the 2020 election, saying, example, release the Kraken, a phrase which comes from the 1981 movie Clash of the Titans. She told them, release the Kraken. You know, she actually said that. So, adopted after the 2020 election by people in support of overturning its results. Okay, these are people who said, release the Kraken. The Kraken is a mythical giant sea monster with powerful tentacles determined to bring down his mythical, you know. It might have been part of Greek mythology. I don't think it was part of Greek mythology, but it was like that. It was mythology, okay? And here she has here, this is marriage to Supreme Court, and she has a dream. This is her dream that this Kraken here went to the Capitol. She's dreaming about the Kraken that went to the Capitol and kind of got its tentacles around the Capitol. You see, she's saying, release the Kraken. So the Kraken's going to come down and grab the Capitol with its tentacles, and that was her dream. And here she goes, hello, Mark, the Kraken has landed. Okay, so she's calling Mark Meadows here, and that's a dream, but she's calling Mark Meadows, saying, Mark, hello, Mark, the Kraken has landed. And there it is. There is the Kraken with the tentacles around the Capitol, and there's Jenny here calling Mark, and there she is, the thumbs up. Okay, with the Trump 2020 on the tentacle there. You see that? You see there's the pro Trump Kraken. Kraken is pro Trump, carrying the sign Trump 2020 in protest of the election. And that's her dream. And there she is. There it is. Trump 2020 with the tentacle. And there's Jenny, thumbs up, with her hat, with a MAGA hat on there. See? There she goes. There she is. Thumbs up with her cell phone. Okay. Here's the Kraken. Okay. There it is. Okay. Okay, numero cuatro de la semana. Number 4 of the week here. Here we have Attorney General Merrick Garland vows to hunt down and seize Russian oligarchs' yachts that after the U.S. at the request of the Justice Department, seized a Russian oligarch's $100 million mega yacht known as the Tango in Spain. So I guess it was the FBI or the Justice working through the Justice Department seized the Tango in Spain. That was the ship, the super yacht Tango. And I took a look at that boat. Wow, that's some ship, you know. So I drew it. I drew a sister ship. I'll show it to you here. Okay, as the Tango in Spain. So below, the thoughts of a fictional oligarch about his would-be mega yacht. So this is a fictional this is like somebody I kind of made up who would be watching this news and getting worried about his own yacht. Okay, and so here he is. Here's Merrick Garland, and he's saying here he is, Garland. There's Merrick Garland here, with the Justice Department behind him. There he is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He's saying it doesn't matter how far you sail your yacht. It does not matter how well you conceal it. The Justice Department will use every available tool to find you. Okay. And then this guy's watching it, and this is what he says in Russian. This is Russian for oh shit. So this is Russian here. I copied this down as a Russian word for this. Okay, so he says this in Russian, and then I guess he repeats it in English here. And then he says, "I'm selling my Mambo." So the ship that he saw that they took was the Tango. His ship is the Mambo. So there goes the Mambo here. See? There's the Mambo. There it is. That's the yacht Mambo. E Mambo, Italiano Mambo. You know, there's a song like that. You know, Italian song. But this is the Mambo. Okay? All right. This is his ship, the Mambo. This is his super yacht, the Mambo. And he's worried about it, so he's going to sell the yacht. So he makes a for sale sign up here, and he goes, quick sale. 1600 HP horsepower, 1600 horsepower, top speed, 25 knots. That's about what those yachts do, those super yachts. Yacht submarine not included. So he wants to keep the submarine so that Merrick Garland and his FBI people can't find him. And he's going to go under the ocean with his submarine. So the submarine is not included in the deal. The yacht submarine does not go with the boat. So he's keeping the yacht submarine for himself for that reason. Okay, not to get caught. So he's going to keep the submarine is not included in the deal. Okay, there you have it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's the yacht. There's Mambo. There's Garland and the Justice Department in the background. And there is the oligarch, fictional oligarch. Okay, here we got Merrick Garland again here. This is with Representative Liv Cheney, Republican Wyoming, Vice Chairman of the House January 6th Committee, who has vowed it won't be intimidated. Seated next to Chairman Benny G. Thompson, Democrat, Mississippi, asked Attorney General Merrick Garland the big question, $64,000 question. Following Garland's bottom statement Friday, perhaps addressing an indictment of former President Donald Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who was referred by a House vote for criminal prosecution last year. So Garland is holding up and making a decision about Mark Meadows, who was referred way back last year, a decision as to whether they're going to prosecute him for basically for not showing up, for contempt of Congress in a way, for not showing up, not being there, and they subpoenaed him. He didn't show up. But Garland saying we got to do more study on this. We got to examine it. I know what there is to examine. He was subpoenaed. He's contempt of Congress is not to show up, so it's contempt of Congress. But how are you going to get the information from people if you don't set an example and you start subpoenaing and you start getting the people to testify and you're putting some muscle on Congress? Otherwise, Congress is just like a nobody. It's like a paper tiger. What do you mean? Congress is nobody. Without the Justice Department, what is Congress? It's nothing. It's a paper tiger, So, like I say, we never had a situation where we had to rely on really on the system kicking in and really working like this. It's always been, everybody did the right thing and we followed procedures. Now the system don't kick in without, we have to worry about the Justice Department doing the right thing aside from, and backing up Congress. It's just like a kid at school. If the kid messes up in school and you do everything you can, you bring in his parents and everything, and it don't work out, and you go to the principal, and the principal says, well, we've got to see what's going to happen now. I can't talk about it right now. We're going to put this on hold and see how he does tomorrow. So it's the same type of thing here. We gotta just see how he does. And so it's the same type of thing. I used to be a high school math teacher, So I'm just saying, giving you an analogy. That to me is what Garland is doing here, kind of pussyfooting, just not getting into it and saying, well, put it on the shelf, kind of like, so because this was last year. So he should make this. If he doesn't want to prosecute, he says, okay, well, he doesn't have to prosecute if he doesn't want to. He doesn't have to testify if he doesn't want to, because President Trump, basically, he's got executive privilege because President Trump, he extends then. Okay, that's not true. That's not right. But at least it's a decision, But here he's saying nothing. We got to study the facts. We got to apply the law. So the idea is contempt is contempt is contempt, Okay, enough about that. So here we go. So here he is there, and here. Okay, so then here Garland makes this statement the other day that he did make. Here it is, almost word for word. I got word for word. This is what he said. There is Justice Merrick Garland. There he is, and here is the Cheney, Representative Liz Cheney, who is the second, and this is the chairman here, Benny Thompson, and she's like the assistant chairman, and she's been very vocal, more vocal than anybody has been, really. So I gave her the question. Okay, so here he goes, makes the statement. The only pressure the Department of Justice feels, this is Garland here, okay? And he's saying, the only pressure the Department of Justice feels on the January 6 probes is to do the right thing by following the facts and the law wherever they may lead. That's what he said. He said exactly word for word. And then Cheney comes back here with a question that I kind of injected, which she probably might have been thinking and didn't get. She did say it, and probably in different words, but this is probably what she meant. Okay, she said, Attorney General Garland, how do you expect to follow the facts if you won't bring criminal charges against people who know the facts and are charged in criminal contempt of Congress for refusing to testify on the facts? So how do you get the facts if you can't get people to testify on the facts? So how do you make a decision? And saying you need more facts. So it's like a washing machine going around and around, So then I have Garland answering her back here. Here he is, and Merrick Garland. He answers her back. He says the Department of Justice will make its own independent decisions in all prosecutions based solely on the facts and the law. Full stop. So there he goes. So he's going back to that, saying we're going to make our decisions based on the facts and the law. So that's it's like a revolving door, going round and round and round, revolving door. The old days they had those doors where you go in there and you just go around, you push the door, and that's what this is, a revolving door here. because it's based on, he needs the facts, but he can't, he's not going to go ahead and do what's necessary to get the facts, but he still can't do what's necessary to get the facts until because he doesn't have the facts to do the things that he needs to do to get the facts. So it's Chinese baseball. He's stealing the bases around on the field around. So there it is. Okay, I forget this lady here who she is. She'll forgive me for not. She's been speaking a lot too, but so there it is. There it is. Garland, Cheney, and Thompson, the chairman of the January 6th committee. Just three. There are more people, but this is what I picked. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. We're getting up close there now. Here it is. Here we've got. This is just this today. I know we got here on Monday. This is just a couple of days ago. On Monday, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov put a new spin on his country's reasoning for invading Ukraine. Okay, so here's Sergei Lavrov right here. Okay, there he is. That's Sergei Lavrov. Okay. And a new spin on his country's reasoning for invading Ukraine, but claiming the special military action is meant to put an end to the United States' quest for world domination. So now we're saying the United States basically is working with Ukraine to take over the world. That's his theory now, and that's why Russia had to get in and invade the country to stop the United States and using Ukraine to take over the world. Okay, so the world. So then what I did is there were conquerors way back in the ancient times who did want to take over the world. So I picked out those people, and I kind of drew them to compare them to the leader of this country, Joe Biden, to see how they would stack up against the people who really did want to take over the world back in ancient times. So here goes Lavrov here, and he's saying, before Joe the Great, this is Joe the Great, because he wants to take over the world. The United States wants to take over the world, so he's like Joe the Great here, It's Joe the Great, okay? Right? So before Joe the Great, there was Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, and Cyrus the Great. So here's Genghis Khan. He had the Mongols. He led the Mongols to a lot. They had a lot of victories. And here's Alexander the Great here, and he was with the Macedonians, the Greek Macedonians, and he took over a lot. He conquered a lot of stuff. And Cyrus the Great was the Persian Empire. He led the Persian Empire in taking a lot of stuff. That was Cyrus the Great. So then you had these three people, and then you have Joe the Great here, who's trying to take over the world now. See? In the 21st century, you have Joe the Great, according to Lavrov. Okay? All right. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Cyrus the Great. Joe the Great from the United States, now trying to take over the world. Okay? That's according to Lavrov, Foreign Minister Lavrov, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov. Justification now for the invasion of Ukraine. Okay. All right. Numero uno de la semana. In the week. Here it is. We've got these Russian planes over a village. This is all flat land. You can see this is in the a village in the Donbass region. Now, it just happened the other day. I did this before it happened, but there were planes that attacked the village just the other day that bombed a village, you know, and I looked at it on television. It looked just like what I was seeing here, like I drew before it happened, you know. So it's nothing to joke at, but I'm just saying. So here we got it here. Okay. And here you got them firing the Stingers at these planes. That the Stingers can't go up that high. This is before Biden sent them this new advanced stuff, which I hope they're going to get advisors to show them how to work, you know, and they don't have to go through training manuals while they're being bombed and look at training manuals to figure out how to work the equipment, because they don't know how to work American equipment. These are not S-300s that come from the Soviet Union. This is McDonnell Douglas stuff. I mean, I'm just saying as an example. This is American stuff, and the Ukrainians are not familiar with this, and there's going to be a learning curve on how they can learn this stuff, and the Russians are at their doorsteps. So it's going to have to be a real cramped course, and I think that this administration should send them some people who can train them on how to use the stuff as soon as they can, you know. So that's what I'm saying here, you know. No time for crash training courses. Okay. All right. So here goes. These are Stingers that they're firing. The Stingers explode in the air before they hit the planes, because the planes are flying too high. Those are Russian planes dropping bombs here, you see. Okay. They already dropped a bomb here. There's one house that's exploding there. Okay. All right. So here goes. A tale of a rural Ukrainian village in the soon-to-be attacked Donbass region, now forced to defend its skies with just low-altitude Stingers, man-portable air defense systems. This was before that all these people send them. Now they got S-300s just the other day, 2 days ago or so. On another country in that region, another NATO country, sent them the S-300s just to you know, just like just got it in there, you know, at the brink of the S-300. Okay, air defense given late Friday on the brink donation of the S-300 surface-to-air missile. So they got that just last Friday, just you know, which is capable of shooting down high-altitude aircraft. And the Ukrainian Air Force has just 225 aircraft compared to Russia's 1,507. So there you go. They're outnumbered by over 7-1 in aircraft that the Russians have. You know, so anything you could put up in the air that could shoot something else down in the air is a plus. Now about the MiGs, I kind of read up on this when people say, and the arguments pro and con, and they said, well, why should we, even if we got them the MiGs, the Russians have more advanced planes that could shoot down the MiGs. Those are flying coffins, those MiGs are flying coffins, because the Russians are so more advanced. Their planes, they'll just snap them up out of the air, pop them out, you know, boom, pop, 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 you know. But I say to you that at least at least you're still putting them up there. If they're on the ground, they're still going to be killed and shot on the ground, because the Russians are pulverizing the stuff, and God only knows they may even use chemical weapons on these people. Who the hell knows what they're going to do if they lose this battle? They may turn to chemical weapons. It's very possible, because they are investigating. The Justice Department, the Defense Department is investigating on whether or not these chemical weapons were used in Mariupol. And if they can't get Mariupol, and they really want that Mariupol by the sea, right by the sea there, and everything, reasons I mentioned before, and if they can't get that, they could go back and really use some. It's possible. look, they did it in Syria, and the general now is coming in. Same general that used that stuff in Syria is now coming in. They call them the Butcher of Syria, is now coming in to be the supreme. He's going to be like the General Eisenhower, of who ran the invasion in World War II on D-Day. General Eisenhower. Well, Putin's General Eisenhower is going to be, guess who? The Butcher of Syria. That's his General Eisenhower now. So, he used that stuff on Aleppo in Syria. So who's to say he's not going to use it in Mariupol or any other city? So you're saying, well, we don't want to send them planes because, it's a flying coffin. Well, it's a flying coffin. It's a ground coffin if you're on the ground and you get those chemical weapons at you, So you might as well give them all they can get to fight anything you have up in the air that can shoot something else down and coming from the air. It would be very helpful, especially since those chemical weapons will probably come from the air. All right, I said enough. Probably too much. Okay. So anyway, so here we got a dialogue that I made up here between these two guys who are firing their Stinger missiles at these Russian planes, and the missile explodes before it gets too high. Okay, before it gets too high, the missile explodes. Okay, and he says, and one guy says to the other, okay, these are Ukrainian soldiers here trying to defend this town with these Stingers, which have been very effective with for low altitude, but not for these high-flying jet fighters that you see, these Russian jet fighters. Okay, the situation has changed now, but all right. So anyway, so he says to the guy here, to his fellow soldier, these Russian fighters are too blank high up for these Stingers. The damn missiles are exploding before hitting the planes. So he's fired. So the missiles exploded here. You see, there it exploded. Didn't hit the plane. It exploded before it hit the plane because the planes are too high, as I said. So then this guy retorts back to him and he says, at least we can shoot down some hot duck soup, so we can get the soup. You see, so when it explodes, you see, here are the ducks, and they get really hot from the explosions. So when they're landing, they're real hot, and all you got to do is just put them in a bucket, and you got some hot duck soup. So at least we can shoot down some hot duck soup. That's what the guy says. Okay, so there is a little. I'm trying to. It's not funny, but I'm trying to create a dialogue to make the point with a little laugh, a little sugar thrown in of a laugh to see what these guys would be up against without the S-300s, and I don't know if they're ever going to get any planes to help them with this. And another thing, I'm going to say it again, is that all right? The MiGs. How about the planes that we have? Don't we have any old planes that from the Vietnam days okay, the F-14 that we can't send. I looked this up, by the way. I checked it out. All the F-14s that are flying today are being used by the Iranian Air Force, and those planes are flying. So the Iranians aren't going to give us anything at all. We ain't going to get no F-14s from the Iranians. That's for damn sure. But don't we have anything else that we could even train them, even if we have to do a midnight cram course on teaching them how to fly these old jet fighters? Don't we have any jet fighters that are worthy, airworthy, that we could send to these people at all? I can't believe we don't have anything. It's hard to believe with all the stuff. Not to send them. We're not going to send them our newest. The newest planes. But we must have something, some sort of jet fighter from way back that we still have that's airworthy that we could send them. I'm sure we have something somewhere. Anyway, so that's the story. I'm not sure, but it's reasonable to think we could have. Okay, so there you go. So that's the story here with this cartoon. This is the flat again. They'll be fighting on a flat terrain like the Battle of Gettysburg. That's going to in Kamaresk. That's going to be the first. And Kharkiv. These are going to be the battles, and and that's where they're heading right now. They're passing through, heading through the Russia into there, and again, they're going to want Kharkiv. They're going to want that city. It used to be the capital when it was under the Soviet Union. It was the first capital. They're going to want that big time, along with Mariupol and anyway. So anyway, I said it. And if you look at those cities before this happened, they were beautiful cities. And it's heartbreaking to see what they looked like before. If you look at the before and after, And I look forward to the day that if they win the war and things go back, then these people can have the strength and stamina to rebuild this country into what it had been or even better. So I look forward to that, and that's why, again, motivates me to try to, whoever hears me, to give it a thought, the powers that be. All right, folks, I want to thank you very much. And another thing is a prayer for those people in New York City who were victimized by that bomber there. A prayer for them, those people, for their full recovery. And I used to ride those trains myself when I went to college. I used to go from the Bronx way down to go to 42nd Street, switch over, take the local train down to 17th Street, and then go up there to City College, where I went to school for 4 years. Traveled that route back and forth, so I know those subways. I know what it's like to be in there, and I can't imagine how that in those days, the worst thing happened was somebody would sneeze in your face. That was the worst thing that would happen on a subway train, is somebody would sneeze in your face, and you'd feel it. But today is a different world, and I'm just really feel for those people, having ridden those trains for 4 years back and forth from the Bronx way down to Manhattan to school, back and forth. So anyway, let's say a prayer for those people for their full recovery. And I want to thank you very much for watching my cartoon countdown and Ukraine update. And God bless you, and God bless America. See you next time, folks. Take care. Bye.